Hi, and you know how I used to do a bunch of Goosebump videos? Well, I have gotten some new Goosebump books ever since I last made my video about my, you know, lots of Goosebumps books that I had. Well, I have a lot more now. So I'm just gonna go down the list, and I'm going to show you my Goosebump books again. A warning: some of these books I have on my Nook, and I'll probably read the backs of each one as I go through the list so that you guys can get an introduction to what most of these books are about. So I have the first one in the series, which is Welcome to Dead House. Oh, I'm making this on my computer. And so Welcome to Dead House, the back says, enter at your own risk. Josh and Amanda just moved into the oldest and weirdest house on the block. It might even be haunted. But their parents don't believe them. Of course they don't believe them. I don't even believe them. You'll get used to it, they say. Go out and make some new friends. So Josh and Amanda do, but these creepy new friends are not exactly what Mom and Dad had in mind, because they want to be friends. Forever. So, that is the first book. They also made an episode to this book, and that was the first Goosebumps episode I ever watched, and it was pretty good. So let's see, let's move on to the next one. Well, the next one is on a sticky note, Stay Out of the Basement. That one is on my Nook, and my Nook is over here, and it would take a while to find it because I have a lot of books on my Nook, but it's on my Nook. So the next book that I have is Monster Blood. So they also made an episode to this book, but the back of this book doesn't really say anything. It just says, the back doesn't explain anything, but it's one of the new covers, and I've read the book before, but I haven't read it from this book. Yeah, that's weird to say, but, because I've already read it a lot of times, but they also made an episode to this book, and the episode was really different to the book, which I didn't really like, but basically it's just this guy, and he finds this monster blood, and things happen. Not real, exactly monster blood, though. Oh, you get it. Sorry, I'm kind of sick right now, but that doesn't really matter. So the next one in the series, I think it's the fourth book, or the fifth book, or the sixth book, and it's The Curse on the Mummy's Tomb. Fortunately, this was actually one of the good ones, and it also had its sequel had a really good episode. That was weird. And, sorry, that's just my Skype. If you hear any bleeping, that's kind of my Skype. And so, the back says, Gabe is exploring the tunnels of an ancient Egyptian pyramid. But Gabe is not alone. Someone else is in the pyramid too. Someone or something. I thought that this book was really good, and it was really enjoyable to read, so I highly recommend this book. The next one is Night of the Living Dummy. One thing I don't exactly find, I don't exactly find interesting about this book is, I don't know, it's just it wasn't very good, and I don't get why they made Night of the Living Dummy 2 and 3, but they didn't exactly make a Night of the Living Dummy. I don't know why, but for some reason they just did that, and I don't think they should have done that. So, this book was okay, but not really exactly one of my favorites. So the next one I have is, I think it's number 18. I think it's number 16. I'm not exactly sure though. And it's on my Nook, and Be Careful What You Wish For. And that book was okay, and I read that book a lot. So, and then the next one, wait. Be Careful What You Wish For was a good one because she helps out this old lady. The old lady gives her 3 wishes. She wishes for something wrong. She gets what she wants in the end. That's basically what the story is. Easily explained. So the next one is one of my favorite books and episodes ever, and that is, drumroll, not very good drumroll, is Welcome to Camp Nightmare. That was a really good episode, but it was also a really good book. It was a really good book. But, yeah. So let me just put that there. So the next one is The Werewolf of Fever Swamp. They made an episode to this one, and the episode was pretty good. And, oh wait, I forgot to read the back to Little Camp of Horrors. Welcome to Camp Nightmares. Let me just read that really quickly. The Little Camp of Horrors. The food isn't great, the counselors are all a little strange, and the camp director, Uncle Al, seems sort of demented. That's a mean word. Okay, so Billy can handle all of that, and then his fellow campers start to disappear. What's going on? Like when his parents answer his mail or whatever. What's lurking on after dark? Camp Night Moon is turning into a nightmare. Something strange is happening. Billy's in the middle of it. Oh no, stop complaining. So then, the back to this one is, what big teeth you have. There's something weird happening at Fever Swamp. It started with a strange howling at night, then the words a rabbit torn to shreds. Ugh, ew. Everyone thinks Grady's new dog is responsible. After all, he looks just like a wolf. And he seems kind of on the wild side. But Grady knows his dog is just a regular old dog, and most dogs don't howl at the moon or disappear, do they? This book was okay. I'll probably put it in my middle list, and this is one of the new covers, but the episode was pretty good too. The next one is One Day at Horrorland. One Day at Horrorland is basically one of the classics. Everyone knows about this episode, and everyone knows about the book. Nearly everyone who's read the Goosebumps series has to have remembered One Day at Horrorland as one of their favorite books. One Day at Horrorland I've read at least 1 billion times, so it's kind of maybe one of my favorites, and also not one of my favorites, but it's a really good book. So I found my Nook, so I can't really read about it, but basically they go to this amusement park and all these crazy weird rides, and they're getting kind of freaked out. Then their parents start to disappear, stuff like that. And then the next one is You Can't Scare Me. This book was actually one of my favorites a long time ago, and I also still think that it was an okay book. It was a good idea though, but he could have written it maybe a little better, and it was kind of real good, and it's on my Nook, so I can't really read it. But this one is in hardcover, real life. I don't know why I just did that. It's Why Am I Afraid of Bees? So, it says on the cover, ha, lol, he's not an ordinary being. So, let me read the back. It's one of the original covers, and these kind of covers are my favorite covers because they're just so original. So, the back says, right brain, wrong boy. Gary Lutz needs a vacation. For himself. Bullies are constantly beating him up, his only friend is his computer, and his little sister doesn't even like him. But now Gary's dream is about to come true. He's going to exchange bodies with another kid for a whole week. Gary can't wait to get a new body until something horrible happens. And Gary finds out he's not in a new body he wasn't exactly expecting. It's kind of obvious. He gets into a bee body and then a bunch of strange things happen because he's in a bee body, obviously. Okay, so, the next book is The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, and this was one of the first books I got, and I got it for my birthday, when I turned 10, I think. Right now I'm 11, and, so, here's one of the books, and, Skype, and so basically, this book was pretty good, and I really liked it, and the episode was also really good, and here's what the back says. They're alive. Jody loves visiting her grandparents' farm. Her grandma's chocolate chip pancakes are the best. Her grandpa tells the scariest stories, but this summer the farm has really changed. The cornfields are sparse. Grandma and Grandpa, what the heck? Grandma and Grandpa seem worn out, and the single scarecrow has been replaced by 12 evil-looking ones. Then one night Jody sees something really odd. The scarecrows seem to be moving, switching on their socks, coming to life. So, obvious what that book is about, episode about. You get it? Okay, so the next one I have on my Nook is Return of the Mummy, and that's the second book to the first one of the first ones that I showed you. It's The Curse on the Mummy's Tomb, but it's the second book to that, and it's pretty good. But the first book, I actually like them both. But this one has but the difference is that this one has an episode and the other one doesn't have an episode. So the next one is Ghost Speech. Both of those are my Nook. And so Ghost Speech, basically what happens is both these kids go to visit their long lost whatever cousins, blah, and then there's like this cave and it's ghostly. So yeah, they find a ghost, get tricked, stuff like that. So the next one is Phantom of the Auditorium. This one was also one of my favorites. They're nearly all my favorites. And so this one was kinda, I really loved the episode. The episode was definitely one of my favorite episodes ever. But the back says, lights, curtain, phantom. But it says, Brooke's best friend Zeke has been given the lead role in the school play, The Phantom. Zeke's totally into it. He loves dressing up in something phantom costumes and scaring the other members of the cast. Brooke thinks Zeke's getting a little too into it. But then real scary things start to happen. A message appears on a piece of scenery. The phantom strikes, and a stage light falls down. Is someone trying to ruin the play, or is there really a phantom under the stage? This episode was really good, but then the book was the best. I mean, the books are always the best. Anyone who doesn't think that is a total idiot. And I'm not going to say no offense, because that would be a lie. So the next one is Goosebumps Night in Terror Tower. Night in Terror Tower is probably in my top 5 favorite books ever. And this one really got me hooked on. I mean, it was a perfectly good idea. The ending was kind of really, really bigly twist, because I would have never guessed that. And, but this book was really good. And, so basically what the back says, all locked up with no place to go. Soon her little brother Eddie are visiting London when they run into a little problem. It's not very little. They can't find their tour group. Still, there's no reason to panic, because there's no way the tour group would just leave them behind. All alone. In a gloomy old prison tower. There's no way they get locked inside after dark, with those eerie sounds, and a strange dark figure who wants them dead. I'm not creeped out. Are you? Definitely one of my favorites. This one's also one of my favorites. All of them are practically my favorites, but this one's probably like in my teenies kind of favorites. But stranded in the sports camp, Wendy and Elliot soon discover that winning is the everything. So basically their little cart thingy gets unhitched from their mom's cars or whatever, and then they come tumbling down the hill and they find this camp, and it's like this sports camp, and they hail this little jelly blob, and then they find out that the jelly blob's real, and then they kinda, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but that's pretty much what goes on. It's pretty obvious that that's what the jelly blob's been doing. And then people start to disappear and stuff like that, and they keep telling them that they gone home or that they got sick or something like that. I'm spoiling everything for you, aren't I? So the next one is Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. This one is really good, and the first time I read it, most of these books are in our library, and I actually had to read the graphic novel, because they have a graphic novel series, and so basically this is what the back says. Someone's been stalking my garden. Ooh, they like that garden. 2 pink flamingos, a whole family of plastic skunks. Joe Burton's dad loves those tacky lawn ornaments, but he brings home 2 very ugly lawn gnomes, and that's when the trouble starts. Late at night, when everyone's asleep, someone's creeping in the garden, whispering nasty things, smashing melons, smashing tomatoes, squashing tomatoes. No way 2 dumb old lawn ornaments can be causing all of this. Yeah, there's like no way 2 lawn ornaments can be causing anything. So basically he just thinks that they're lawn ornaments and the whole time, and then in the end it just turns out it's him who's completely demented, and he has like this multiple personality disorder, and so he's just this person who just takes over his body and just like does all this stuff in the night. Wow, I've got some really weird ideas. The next one on my Nook is How I Got My Shrunken Head. So basically his aunt calls him, and then so he goes over to this place in Asia, and but then he realizes it's not his aunt who called, it was actually these people, and so they're trying to track down their mother, the aunt. I don't know how to explain it. Ooh, one of my favorite covers, but this one is Say Cheese and Die, and I can't remember. Picture Perfect Nightmare. Sour Ball. That's what Greg calls his English teacher, Mr. Sour. He's a real grouch, obviously, and he gave Greg a big fat F on his oral report. He didn't believe Greg's story about the camera Greg found last summer and the pictures it took and the evil things that happened. I mean, really, who would believe that? Even though it's kind of true. Poor Greg. He just wanted to prove old Sourball wrong. And now that he's dug up the camera... Okay, so you dug up the camera again. God, you're such an idiot. Bad things are happening. Real bad things. Just like the first time. This is the sequel to the, to Say Cheese and Die. And that's the 4th book that came out in the series. But number 47, book number 47, is Goosebumps, Legend of the Lost Legend. This book, I love the title and the things on top of it, but the story, the book wasn't so good. I'll give that like a D. I mean, it was really weird what was going on the whole time and kind of creative, but not really my style of book. I don't go for that much fantasy. Talk about a horror story. Nobody loves a good story like Justin's dad. He's a famous writer and story collector. That's how Justin and his sister Marissa ended up in Brobla. That's probably where vampires are. They're going to suck their blood. Their dad was searching for an ancient manuscript called The Lost Legend. Oh, obviously. In a place called Brovania, I thought it would be called something different. Justin and Marissa want to help, but instead of finding the lost legend, they get lost. In the woods of Brovania are filled with the strangest creatures, like hundreds of squealing mice, silver-colored dogs, and bright, terrifying Vikings from long ago. Now you get why I don't like this book. Too much fantasy. This video is going to be kind of long. Who cares? So this book is like the 50th book, 52nd book in the series, and it's Calling All Creeps. In the beginning and on the title, it just says, just dial 555 creep. Okay, so it says, Ricky Beamer is furious when he gets kicked off the school paper, so he decides to play a little joke on Tasha, the bossy editor-in-chief, and obviously that's going to end you in trouble with some creeps. And so he decides to, harmless really. After school one day, he sticks a message in the paper. If you're a creep, call Tasha after midnight, it reads. But somehow Ricky's message gets mixed up, and now he's getting calls. Oh, that's a big problem. Strange calls from kids who say that they're creeps. Creeps with scaly purple skin and long sharp fangs. Oh, better go get some, like, rat poison. Don't know why I just said that stupid joke. Vampire Breath. That used to be one of my favorite episodes, but not anymore. But it was still a good book. He's a dentist nightmare. Tough. That's Freddie Martinez and his friend Kara. They're not afraid of anything. But that was before they went exploring in Freddie's basement. Why would you go exploring in a basement? Before they found a secret room. Oh, there's a secret room and it's a dark tunnel. Let's go down it. Before they found the bottle of vampire breath. Poor Freddie and Kara. They should have never opened that bottle of vampire breath, because now there's a vampire in Freddie's basement and he's very, very thirsty. Give him some water. Okay, so this book was one of the first books I got, and I really like this book, though. Beware of the Snowman. Jacqueline used to live with her Aunt Greta in Chicago, but not anymore. They moved to a place called Sherpia. It's a small village at the end of the Arctic Circle. Jacqueline can't believe she's stuck in Nowheresville. No movie theaters, no malls, or nothing. Wow, you have no life. Plus, there's nothing really odd about the village. There's something really odd about the village. At night, there's these strange howling noises, and in front of every house is a snowman. A creepy snowman with red scarf and a deep scar on his face and a really evil smile. Scary. Not very much, though. This one's definitely one of my favorite books ever. It's probably my top 3, though. He's got his head in the clouds for real. Wilson Shalame. His last name is Shalame. Shalame. Wilson Shalame. Oh my god, that's the bully's name. Loves to make Jack Johnson feel like a total loser. That should make the loser's name be Shalame. Oh my god. That's how we ended up in the beach. A creepy old abandoned house in the dark, trying to hide from Wilson. But everything's about to change because Jack just dug up, one second, the coolest book. It's called Flying Lessons. You're going to need an airplane. It tells how humans can learn to fly. Well, I guess you don't actually. Poor Jack, he just wanted to get back at Wilson, but now that Jack's learned how to fly, things down on Earth are getting really scary. The next book is My Best Friend is Invisible. This one was not exactly one of my favorites, though, but it's probably in my top 30s, 20s, maybe. And so he's out of sight for real. Sammy Jacobs is into ghosts and science fiction, not exactly the smartest hobby, not at least if you ask Sammy's parents. They're research scientists and only believe in real life. But now Sammy has met someone who's totally unreal. He's hanging out in Sammy's basement and eating his cereal breakfast. Sammy has got to find a way to get rid of his new friend. Only problem is Sammy's new friend is invisible. Oh, that's a big problem. How are you going to get rid of him? I don't know. Okay, let's see. The next book is, I'm trying to get through this. So the next book is Werewolf Skin, and it says, it's a full moon. Do you know what your werewolf is? No, I don't. Picture this. Alex Hunter, photography geek, hanging out in Wolf Creek. Who lives in Wolf Creek? Alex's Uncle Colin and Aunt Marta. They're professional photographers. Uncle Colin and Aunt Marta are pretty cool. They have 2 requests. Don't go into the woods late at night and stay away from the creepy house next door. Easy. Why didn't he just do that? Poor Alex, he just wanted to take a couple pictures. So you did that for a couple pictures. And now he's going to find out the secret of Wolf Creek late at night when the moon is full. Obviously, he's going to find a werewolf. Oh no, he's going to die. Okay, next book is He's Got a Basement Blues. Oh, wait, actually it's not called that. It says at the back. It's called, I Live in Your Basement. Don't do this. Watch out for that. Marco's mom thinks the whole world's a danger zone. She wouldn't let Marco play softball. But Marco just wants to have fun, so he sneaks off to a game, and that's when it happens. He gets hit in the head with a baseball bat, and now things are really, really fuzzy. Fuzzy. Feeling really scary. Feeling really, what the heck? Because when Marco gets home, he gets the strangest call from someone who says that he lives in Marco's house, and he's in the basement. Oh, that's kind of creepy. That's pretty freaky. Okay, so basically that's my Goosebumps collection, and I'm probably going to do videos like reactions to this book, and reactions to that book, and reading from this book, and I also do like Tumblr stuff, you know, like tag challenges, you know, like best friend tags and stuff like that. So leave a comment down below, and like for stuff you want me to do, and book reviews you want me to do. But also, if you have any questions about Titanic, just put them down below in the comments, because I'm really interested in Titanic, and I have a lot to, I can tell you about Titanic, so thank you for watching, and if you subscribe to me, I'll try and subscribe to you, only if you're subscribed to me. So, thank you for watching.